Hari Om to everybody. It has been a wonderful journey, from first to seventh chapter. Before, as usual, we will have 5 minutes Ramnam. Again, we are chanting Ramnam not for the sake of as a discipline. Every month we are trying to get more and more convinced about the efficacy of Ramnam in taking us further, and also to prepare our mind to sufficiently absorb the divine vibrations connected with it. Divine vibration means we are chanting the name of one. The feeling will well up. With that bhavana, we will have 5 minutes Ramnam chanting.
Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 श्री राम.
And then, as usual, we will have a bhajan. The mental quietude which you have attained after attaining Ramnam is further enhanced by bhajans. Because these bhajans come from the bottom of the heart. As shared earlier, everyone wants peace. Papa said peace is God. We don't have to think that God plus peace. Wherever there is peace, it is God. So this bhajan says, Shanthi NilavaVendum in Tamil. May peace prevail everywhere. Atma Shakti Onga Vendum. This can come only when viewed in the spiritual dimension. There's a vast difference, The peace that we have named as peace is not the real peace, because once we get it, we will not lose it. The one which we have named and labeled as peace comes and goes. Here the peace means the fullness. So here the bhajan says, for that, Atma Shakti Onga Vendum. The peace should be based on spirituality. And who is our perennial source of inspiration for that? Gandhi Mahatma. His life is an open book for all of us. Even under very provocative circumstances, how he was able to maintain peace, holding on to the ideal. So this, the lyrics you will be seeing it from the PPT. Kindly apply your mind. Whenever somebody does something wrong, some deplorable acts, may their life be freed from such tendencies, such negative reactions. This is also there. May peace prevail not only in a particular place, peace prevail everywhere, even in the minds of people in whom the negative tendencies are there. Because if my mind is with the negative tendencies, I will not be able to bring out the peace that is dormant in me. So this prayer says that. And for that, I must be conscious of my duties. I must be conscious of my payback to the society. All those things, salient points, are covered in this beautiful bhajan. So kindly spend some time, absorb something, write down if you feel like. Okay?
Shanthi NilavaVendum, engum Shanthi NilavaVendum, engum Shanthi NilavaVendum, Atma Shakti Onga Vendum, ulagile Shanthi NilavaVendum, Atma Shakti Onga Vendum, ulagile Shanthi NilavaVendum, Atma Shakti Onga Vendum, ulagile Shanthi NilavaVendum, Atma சக்தி ஓங்க வேண்டும் உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே கருணை ஒற்றுமை கதிரொளி பரவி சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் காந்தி மகாத்மா கட்டளை அதுவே கருணை ஒற்றுமை கதிரொளி பரவி சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் ஆத்ம சக்தி ஓங்க வேண்டும் உலகில சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் கொடுமை செய்தியோர் மனமது திருந்த நற்குணமது புகட்டிடுவோம் கொடுமை செய்தியோர் மனமது திருந்த நற்குணமது புகட்டிடுவோம் மடமை அச்சம் அறுப்போம் மக்களின் மாசில நல்லொழுக்கம் வளர்ப்போம் மடமை அச்சம் அறுப்போம் மக்களின் மாசில நல்லொழுக்கம் வளர்ப்போம் திடம் தரும் அஹிம்ச யோகினம் தந்தை ஆத்மானந்தம் பெறவே திடம் தரும் அஹிம்ச யோகினம் தந்தை ஆத்மானந்தம் பெறவே கடமை மறவோம் அவர் கடன் தீர்ப்போம் கலங்கமில் அறம் வளர்ப்போம் கடமை மறவோம் அவர் கடன் தீர்ப்போம் கலங்கமில் அறம் வளர்ப்போம் எங்கும் சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் ஆத்ம சக்தி ஓங்க வேண்டும் உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் ஆத்ம சக்தி ஓங்க வேண்டும் உலகிலே சாந்தி உலகிலே சாந்தி உலகிலே சாந்தி நிலவ வேண்டும் எங்கும் சாந்தி எங்கும் சாந்தி எங்கும் சாந்தி
Now we will have, as usual, the Ashir-Vachan of Mahatmas. Why we are, every month we are seeking their grace. It carries a lot of weight, lot of power. Because they will also mentally thinking, when we request them for an Ashir-Vachan, especially for this particular occasion. So they will also be traveling with us, and they will be praying from the bottom of their heart to bless our efforts with success. Okay? With that bhavana, we will hear their Ashir-Vachan.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. I am glad that the centenary of the Sannyas of Papa Swami Ramdas, the great saint of Kanangad, is to be celebrated from 27th December 2021 to 27th December 2022. It was perhaps in 1949 or 1950 when, as a college student, I saw him for the first and unfortunately the last time also in Malleshwaram, Bangalore. One evening, I happened to go by the Ram Mandir of Malleshwaram, where Papa Swami Ramdas was performing his bhajans on the dais. I saw him in white clothes, fair in complexion, surrounded by Krishna Bai and many devotees and perhaps disciples, all in white. Out of curiosity, I got down from my bicycle, went very near the prayer hall and saw him from a distance very clearly. The Ram Mandir was full of devotees, maybe 500 to 600 people. He was singing perhaps Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, and the devotees were following him. I was impressed by the person as well as the whole atmosphere, though I knew very little about the life of the great saint. Later, when I took to serious practice of spiritual life, I was attracted to his life and his two important books, In Quest of God. Both left a very deep impression on my spiritual life in the form of tremendous faith in the saving power of the divine name. Later, I used to read in journals and papers about his visit to Europe and America and the great welcome he received in the Christian monastic circles too. I also read about his visit to Dakshineshwar, the scene of sadhanas and fulfillment of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and how he experienced a thrill of the living presence of the Paramahamsa. In later years also, I remember to have read parts of the two books referred to above and suggested the reading of the same to my friends. I convey my blessings and best wishes for the organizers of the centenary celebration of Papa Sannyas under the leadership of Swami Muktananda. I also pray for the success of the whole year-long celebrations, which should be helpful to innumerable spiritual seekers. May Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharda Devi, and Swami Vivekananda bestow their blessings on all of us, is my prayer to them. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Sri Ramakrishna.
In Quest of God as a Life Manual. Recap of points from chapters 5, 6 and 7. Recap of chapter 5, Rameshwaram. Main learnings. Point number 1, transforming a seemingly negative situation into a positive one. Point number 2, possess money but do not be possessed by it. Point number 3, thinking about others' problems, others' needs, etc., we will be able to reduce our necessities to a bare minimum. Point number 4, develop equanimity by never reacting immediately. Recap of Chapter 6 Madurai. Main learnings. Point number 1. See Him in creativity. Creativity is an expression of God. A. Connect with God through creativity by remembering that it is He who has motivated and brought it about. Point 2. See God in all forms. A. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, and nothing is insignificant. Recap of Chapter 7 Chidambaram. Main learnings. Point number 1. Repeated tests from God a necessity. Tests are a means to assess what has been assimilated. Point number 2. As we get more and more attuned with the ideal, thoughts about our bare necessities also recede. Then, God, in His mysterious way, provides and takes care. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.